Why isn't my plant growing faster? I used to stare at my plant wondering why they weren't growing as fast as I wanted. So like any impatient plant parent, I watered them. And I watered them again and again because more must be better, right? And maybe you've done the same thing and you thought that if you kept giving more water, more attention, things would grow faster. But instead of thriving, my plants started yellowing and struggling. I wasn't helping, I was drowning them. And then I realized that I was doing the same thing to myself. By the way, my name is Fiona. Just like how I tried to force my plants to grow, I spent my 20s trying to force my own growth. I had this toxic belief that if I wasn't stressed, if I wasn't doing enough, I wasn't successful. But just like my overwatered plants, I was suffocating under my own expectations. I wasn't thriving, I was burning out. And now in my 30s, I learned that growth isn't rushing. It's about really trusting your pace and your process. I've had plants for over 8 years now, and it's taught me a lot. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 lessons that houseplants has taught me to manage stress and to slow down. Lesson 1 is talking to your plants equals talking to yourself. So at some point, I developed this weird habit of talking to my plants. It kind of just happened during watering sessions because it's my only alone time with the plants. I started talking to them, which is really just me talking to myself. I know it sounds kind of silly, but I learned something really powerful from that, so just hear me out. The way we talk to our plants reflects on how we talk to ourselves. So instead of demanding, why aren't you growing faster? Try saying, you're not stuck, you're just growing in ways that take time. That little shift in language changes everything. If I could be more patient with my plants, why couldn't I be more patient with myself? Talking to my plants has taught me to be more self-aware, more present, and at peace. Most importantly, it's a way of self-reflection. It's funny how something so simple is what we truly need. So if life ever feels overwhelming, try this. Hang out with your plants for 5 minutes. Just sit there with them. Breathe. Let yourself be. And try talking to your plants kindly. Yourself. Talking to plants feel like therapy, but they don't talk back. That's where professional therapy comes in. Now, quick word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that provides mental health support through licensed therapists. In just a few days, they connect you with a therapist, someone who can process your feelings of stress and self-doubt. I used to push myself non-stop. I thought growth meant a constant effort alone, but through plants and therapy, I learned that true growth comes from patience, care, and having a space to bloom. Therapy isn't about fixing yourself, it's about supporting yourself. And with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5-star rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp makes sure that therapists on the platform are well qualified, and they also have a customer support team to answer any of your questions. Therapy isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And if you're ever feeling overwhelmed or stressed, then click the link in the description or check out betterhelp.com/felinejungle for 10% off your first month. Plants need care and so do you. Therapy can help you grow in ways you've never imagined. So check out BetterHelp to start your journey. And now let's get back into the video. Lesson 2. Plants don't rush because the plant next to them is growing faster. I used to think growth had to be fast. If I wasn't moving forward, then I was falling behind. But plants don't grow that way, and neither do we. I learned that the hard way. For many years, I followed the path that society laid out. I graduated college, I landed a good job, I got my master's, and I got married all by my 20s. I did it all, but I didn't feel accomplished. In fact, I felt really lost. Like, I've been spending so much time trying to keep up that I never asked myself if this was the right path. It took until my 30s to realize that I was growing, but growing in a direction that wasn't truly mine. Plants don't rush because the plants next to them are growing faster. They take their time to strengthen their roots until they bloom. Likewise, once I let go of that pressure for myself to keep going and keep up with everything, I really allow myself that space to grow in a way that was right for me. Life isn't a race, and you should find your own pace. Lesson number 3, resting is a part of growing. Some plants go dormant during the winter, and it's not because they're dying, but because they're conserving energy for spring. A perfect example is my Stephania erecta. Right now it looks like a dirty potato, but in the summer it transforms into a beautiful lush vines and these cute round leaves. It was just resting for springtime. For the longest time, I struggled to take rest. I thought that taking breaks was a sign of falling behind. My family loves traveling, but since the pandemic, I forgot what it was like to take a real vacation. I spent years constantly working and pushing through, and it wasn't until recently that I finally took a step back. In the last 2 years, I finally started traveling again, and I recently crossed off a bucket list trip to Dubai with my parents. It was a trip that we postponed for many years. During that trip, I spent a night at the desert. I played with camels and desert cats. We saw some stunning architecture, and we even immersed ourselves in the culture. It was exactly what I needed. When I came back, I was recharged and I felt ready to create again, like filming this video. So if you're ever feeling stuck or you feel stressed, maybe it's not because you're failing to grow, but because you need a season to rest. Lesson 4. Overwatering your plants equals overloading yourself. Like I said before, I used to think overwatering my plants was better for them, but actually, it just drowned the roots, making it harder for it to absorb nutrients. Just like how your plants need a consistent and balanced watering schedule, you need some kind of structure in your life to avoid burnout. So here's how to water yourself just right. For me, I think the best way is to create some kind of watering schedule for your life. Your plants don't need to be watered every single day, just like how you don't need to say yes to every single demand. For me, it's very important to learn how to say no because it helped me create clear boundaries between work, play, and rest, so I'm not constantly pouring out my energy. Another thing that was very helpful was to look for signs before acting. So just like how you check the soil before you water, do the same for yourself. Pause and ask, do I really need to take on more right now, or am I just acting out of habit? Once you start to water yourself with intention, both you and your plants will thrive. Lesson number 5, and the final lesson, is that old leaves feed new growth. I used to be obsessed over this monstera and when it will produce the next new dramatic leaf. I would check on it every single day to see if there's a new leaf, and if I didn't see anything, I would get impatient and frustrated. But one morning, I decided to appreciate the old leaves. They're just as beautiful, and these old leaves are what provides enough nutrients for new growth. Once I shifted my perspective, this kind of logic also reflected on my personal life, where I was always focused on the next goal, the next achievement, that I never stopped to appreciate how far I've come. Yes, growth is important, but sometimes growth isn't just about chasing the next big thing, but also recognizing the strength and stability that you've built. This old leaf will eventually be replaced by a new one, but its contribution to the plant's journey will always be remembered. I hope this video helps you see houseplants as more than just decor. Who would have thought that houseplants would have taught us so much? When I first started on my plant journey, I just wanted some greenery, but it ended up teaching me patience, how to set boundaries, and ultimately how to slow down. I hope these 5 lessons bring you peace in your journey, and let me know if you have a hobby that taught you something unexpected. Leave it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Yeah, cut. Cut. There's a lot of water. Okay, but don't worry, this plant's actually fine. We did it just for the video. It's a terracotta pot, so it's going to absorb all the excess water. We also put a stopper, which is why I look more dramatic for the video.
My God. This is bad.